Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more gripping stories like this. When Laura stepped out of the motel room, the evening sun was already slipping behind the trees, casting a muted orange glow across the sky. She pulled her coat tightly around her shoulders, weighed down by a mix of guilt and fatigue. Her plan had been simple: spend a few hours away from her husband, Mark, under the pretense of a work meeting, and be back before dinner. But things had stretched far longer than she anticipated, and now all she wanted was to return home quietly. Reaching the motel parking lot, a cold dread hit her. Her car was gone. Her stomach sank, and panic flickered across her face. She scanned the lot again, certain she must have parked elsewhere. But after a few moments, reality struck hard. Her car had been stolen. Trembling, she pulled out her phone and called the police, keeping her voice steady as she played the part of the unsuspecting victim. Deep down, she wondered if this was karma catching up with her sooner than expected. She summoned a cab and sat silently in the back seat, replaying the day over and over in her mind. The lies she told Mark, the fabricated meeting, the false smiles, the message saying, "Don't wait for me. I'll be late." Each deceit weighed heavily on her chest like stones. But the thought that frightened her most was facing Mark without her car. Sharp and observant, he had grown more distant lately, and she feared his judgment. Arriving home, she noticed the front lights were off. Odd, since Mark always left them on when he knew she'd be returning late. She unlocked the door and stepped into the dark house. The air felt unnaturally cold and still. "Mark," she whispered, setting her bag on the counter. Silence answered her. Moving down the hallway, she noticed something was wrong. The picture frames that usually lined the walls were gone. The wedding photo that had always hung by the stairs had vanished. Her chest tightened as she hurried through the house, opening drawers and cabinets. Many of Mark's belongings were missing. His clothes, his watch, even the old leather jacket he rarely wore. Then it hit her. A note left on the dining table. An envelope addressed to her. Hands shaking, she opened it and found a single key, her car key, and a letter. She sat down slowly, afraid yet compelled to read. "Laura," the letter began. "I know everything. I know about the motel, the man, the lies. You might have thought you were careful, but you weren't. The GPS in your car told me where you were today. I set it myself while you were inside that motel room. Consider this my way of saying goodbye." Tears welled in her eyes as she read on. Mark's handwriting was calm, almost eerily composed. "I didn't want to fight. I just wanted you to know that I deserved honesty. I left your car at your mother's house. You can collect it when you're ready to face the truth. Whether it's with her, yourself, or anyone who still listens." Laura dropped the letter on the table, vision blurred. The ache inside her was deep, not merely from being caught, but from the quiet dignity in Mark's words. He hadn't yelled. He hadn't destroyed anything. He had simply walked away, leaving her to confront her reflection and her choices. She ran to the bedroom, hoping he might still be there, but found only emptiness. The wardrobe doors hung open, half of his belongings gone. On his pillow lay his wedding ring, placed carefully, as if a final gesture of respect. Laura sank to her knees, clutching the ring, crying into the silence. For the first time, she understood that the worst loss wasn't her car. It was losing the one person who had loved her despite all her flaws. The guilt she had buried so deeply now surged to the surface, suffocating her with truths she had long avoided. She wandered into the living room, struck by how lifeless the house felt. The laughter, warmth, the sense of home, all gone. Every corner whispered a memory. Every shadow carried Mark's quiet disappointment. Later that night, she sat by the window, clutching the letter once again, reading it over and over. There was no anger in his words, only finality. He had freed himself from her lies, and that freedom was a punishment she could never escape. Outside, life moved on, but Laura remained frozen, haunted by her own choices. The man she had thought she could deceive had been far stronger than she imagined. Her car might have been returned, but her peace, her marriage, her future, all were gone for good. And in the end, Laura finally understood. The worst thing waiting for her at home wasn't missing possessions. It was the truth. She could no longer hide from it.